Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar designed for PAC managers, Pacific Centers managers, to become more familiar with WeWork as WeWork has erupted to the scene of our industry, and we already have three or four centers out of our 15 locations that compete directly with a WeWork facility. I expect that number to grow, so this should be helpful to everyone because you should expect that there's a high probability that a WeWork center is going to be open sooner or later close to your center. Hopefully what you'll take out of this webinar is better clarity on how our product is quite different from WeWork and how we can clarify or explain that difference to our prospects, particularly those that have a profile that is probably better adapted to with a specific workplaces type of location. Now, clearly, WeWork has been all over the news, which has been great for our industry, attracting a lot of attention to the co-working space. They have raised $2 billion to date and counting. SoftBank is rumored to think about investing an additional $3 billion. 5-6 years ago, WeWork was a smaller company than Pacific Workplaces. So that growth has been phenomenal and certainly commands respect. I'm going to poke a little fun at them. I'm going to be a little sarcastic in a couple of my slides, but that's to make a point to explain how well differentiated we are from their product, but that doesn't stop the fact that I and we should all have a tremendous amount of respect for what they have accomplished. So let's walk you through the WeWork concept. Their concept is very different from Pacific Centers in that they really favor very large operations. So a typical WeWork location will be in a Class B and increasingly in a Class A building. They used to be on the fringe of the nice to the not so nice location. Now you will find them squarely opening really nice facilities in downtown, in prominent places, in Class A location. But the point is that they are large locations, typically 3, 4, 5 floors. So that may be 80,000 square feet, that may be 100,000 square feet, in some cases more, with a very large number of private offices. In fact, typically each of their floor has a nice open co-working area, but behind that nice co-working area that also combine as a lounge, a kitchen, and area to get some coffee and rest on a couch or on a comfortable armchair. You've got lots of private offices, almost always with glass walls. Their concept, which is key to their concept of letting the light flow throughout the floor, and they do a very good job at that with their design. But they also favor extremely small offices, as small as 40 square foot, or when they have team rooms, they will put 3, 4 people in a 120, 130 square foot office. In the end, they do pay a lot of attention to their design, which is very similar from location to location. So you can recognize a WeWork place pretty easily. They have nice artwork, nice flooring, but also that means expensive flooring, expensive glass walls, expensive TI, expensive HVAC. But in the end, it makes it for a very comfortable environment, very young, very hip, very flexible, but also very informal in in many ways and very attractive to many people. In fact, it's an excellent fit for people like, for example, that just graduated from a college dorm because it's an upgrade for this WeWork dude to leave the frat house and go to a WeWork environment that still is very crowded, that still has people all over the place on the couch and in the kitchen, and this dude doesn't mind that the offices are very small. Does not mind that there are a lot of people around him because that's an environment that he is comfortable with. That's where he's coming from. And our concept is a bit different. Let's call it more seasoned, with better amenities, a lot more privacy, and perhaps more professional. Even though the WeWork environment, in all fairness, is also a professional environment, but maybe one that will cater to the earlier stage startup that eventually may graduate to an environment like Pacific workplaces. I mentioned the small offices, 40 square feet. That's very, very tiny. There's just room for a chair, a small chair, a very small table, and enough to open a laptop, and no room for a visitor, for example. It's a very effective way to maximize revenue, but not to maximize comfort or productivity at work, particularly if you have to receive people. Then you need to receive people in the open co-working environment or in a private conference room. The cost per square foot of a WeWork office is actually very high on a per square foot level because, it's $1,000 in San Francisco per private office, which sounds not that expensive, except that private office may just be 40 square foot, which is quite expensive. $700 for an entire office of the same size in much less expensive San Jose. By the way, if you take a full-time office at WeWork, you will have typically 12 credits for access to meeting rooms. Small meeting rooms, it's 1 credit for 1 hour. Large meeting rooms, larger than 8 or 10 seats, it's 2 credits for 1 hour. Curiously, I'm not quite impressed by their meeting rooms. That may change. They may improve them over time. I'm not also impressed by the fact that they don't seem to be monetizing them very well with the outside traffic. But again, they may change their business model as they learn and as they evolve. Keep in mind that WeWork has raised a lot of money in multiple rounds, which means that whatever their financial metrics have been so far, they have been strong enough to satisfy deep pocket investors to put money not just in the first round, but in the second round, in the third round, and other rounds. So they are generating money. How much we don't know, but they are also under a tremendous amount of pressure to generate high return on investment to the kind of capital that they have raised. So it's not because they raise a lot of money that they are going to waste that money, and that all of a sudden that they can be more competitive on price than you. In fact, I would argue the other way around. There is probably more pressure on WeWork to generate a quick profit than there is on Pacific workplaces. Regis probably has more pressure than anybody else because it's a public company, but do not be afraid of the fact that WeWork has raised a lot of money, nor should you think that they have a free pass to waste it. A big differentiator between a PAC office and a WeWork office is that you can breathe in a PAC office. You certainly can have a couple of guests on the other side of your desk, close the door, and it all feels comfortable and private. Our concept is better suited to more mature people or companies, maybe. Perhaps after WeWork dude takes a co-working pass at WeWork and start to grow his business, he may want to upgrade to a specific workplace type of facilities, put it simply. Our meeting rooms and offices are very private and full of amenities, which you don't always find at WeWork, certainly not the privacy aspect of it. And in a pack office, one can move around, receive guests without feeling asphyxiated. And this is why you see some of those fish jump in already to a pack facilities. In fact, we think that WeWork has been very beneficial, let's say, in a location like San Jose, by bringing more awareness to the co-working industry in which we belong. And we see folks are graduating from WeWork and moving after 6 months into our pack facility. Because these people may start to incubate their business at WeWork, but they eventually graduate at pack. So that's something that I think we can expect. Looking at the comparison of pack versus WeWork, WeWork talks a lot about the value of their network and the fact that they have a very large network. We have 85,000 members worldwide at the end of December. Right now, they probably have in excess of 100,000. That's great. That's impressive. But at the same time, is that very effective? The human size of our community is a lot more conducive to richer interactions and more effective business connections than a very large network of people that you don't know. It's not because you and I share the same, let's say, landlord, WeWork, the same office space, that, and you may be in New York and I am in San Francisco, that I'm going to do anything special for you. Why should I? I don't know you. So that network is large, that may be impressive, but you have to relativize the value of that network. They are a much bigger network. LinkedIn, as we will see on the next slide, has 60 million. In comparison, 85,000 means very little. What really matters is the size of the community, because there's actually a lot of research that have shown that a human-sized network, the most effective network, are those where people can remember the faces that they have met before, and a lot of research put that limit at 200. Well, with our 200 to 400 members in average for an average specific workplace center, half of them being virtual office, we are in that range where our members have a much better chance to bump into each other and to know each other, and therefore to be more likely to help each other than they are if they are buried in a huge space with 2,000 members over 5 stories, let alone a 100,000 member network worldwide that is not that valuable, actually, no matter what they claim. So there is a difference between the value of a community, which is great in a specific workplace type of community, versus how large your network is. As I said, LinkedIn is a much more impressive network with 60 million than WeWork with 100,000. We also host a lot of meetups. Some of these meetups are global groups that are very large with local chapter. And we have the mechanism with existing platform, virtual platforms that we host in our center to really maximize on the value of the small community which we curate in each of our Pacific Workplaces centers. Our communities are active and of people that grow a like for each other and help each other. Not in the sense that 85,000 members globally could ever get to know each other and actively help each other. Another, so as we talked about community and the great activities that we drive at Pacific Workplaces, I would say Advantage Pack. It's genuine, it's fun, people enjoy what they are doing, they get great advantage out of it. It's not forced, it's natural, and we don't use it as heavily in our marketing collateral the way WeWork does, and maybe we should, because it's a tremendous value that we have all built in the pack centers. Another key element in their marketing collateral is they talk about the value of their proprietary technology platform. And I'm here to put things in perspective. They talk a lot about it, and I'm not sure it's that good. In fact, if you do a very simple Google search for that community platform, you will see this review summary with a 3.4 weighted average rating on a scale of 5. 3.4 is very low. And if you look at 31 highly dissatisfied users, 16 very dissatisfied users, that's a huge percentage. You're talking about 45% that have a 3-star or less, 45%. In our recent Pacific Workplaces customer satisfaction survey, we had 0 customers that were very satisfied, and we freaked out because out of 400 respondents, we had 4 dissatisfied customers, 1%, compared to 45% or let's say 30% if you just look at the 1-star, the 2-star. That tells you how poor that technology platform really is. In fact, very few people actively use it every day, even though it sounds great, because it's a place where people can list their hobbies, their bios, their short bio, and interact with other WeWork members. But we do have these tools, and in fact, we probably have better tools. The tools we use today to curate our communities are based on Happy Desk, to using the client portal to advertise our events, and also Group-Loo. Our industry use other tools like Slack, and we actually looking very carefully about Workplace, which Facebook has launched recently for that purpose of curating communities. Everybody is on Facebook. Maybe that will be a reasonable, effective way for us to curate our community tomorrow. The point is that there are much better tools that are already available off the shelf than anything than WeWork is promoting. So keep this in perspective, and there's nothing that we have that wish, or at least that WeWork have that we wish we had. Maybe at the margin, but nothing significant. Lastly, they talked about the value of their network, the fact that you can go from one, if you're a member of WeWork, you can easily crash at another WeWork location. Well, the truth is that at the end of 2016, they had only 111 locations in only 34 cities. Well, that's certainly an area where we have an edge. At the end of 2016, through our affiliation with the CloudVO network, we can propose 589 locations globally, and today it's a lot more than 600 and growing very fast in 284 cities. It's a lot more impressive. So if you compare WeWork with Pack, Advantage Pack, if you add to that Radius, WeWork is by far the least impressive of the three. Radius is still more ubiquitous than we at Pack can claim, for sure, but CloudVO is making great progress, and we can really talk about a solid global reach that we have and WeWork does not have yet. It will take them a while to get there. So in the end, just to summarize, there are certain claims that WeWork make that you can be very skeptical about: their technology platform, their network globally, the size of their network in terms of members. It's pretty easy to explain, and to certainly explain to ourselves, why our communities are much richer, much more active than the WeWork communities. Secondly, we offer an environment which is different, more mature, more professional, and more private. So these are the main lines on how we differentiate ourselves within the co-working industry from PAC. But at the same time, thank you, WeWork, for the amazing amount of public relation that they brought to the industry by being a unicorn, a $17 billion valuation, attracting a lot of focus and interest. We think we benefit from it. So when they open a new center close to us, we will likely benefit from it, because they will help bring more traffic to Pacific workplaces. That is a product we can easily differentiate from a WeWork product. Now, we have weathered the dot-com bubble burst. We have weathered the Great Recession well. New competition should not scare us. In fact, we should embrace it, because, as I said, it helps grow the demand for our business. And our key to success is to continually adapt and deliver on our value proposition, which is, put simply, we make work better. All right, thank you for your time, and continue what you're doing. You're all doing great.